In the meantime, he rented out the farm.
Yeah. And he made payments on it, I guess?
Yeah. Well, he didn't pay too much for it. He took it all. He bought it from the bank. The bank had taken over on bankruptcy court. So he bought it from the bank in Sussex.
It was a retirement home. Going to be for his retirement?
Well,
An
not really.
investment?
No, for weekend going up to the country, you know, from the beginning. There was, and he bought a new cottage on the place, a summer home.
He bought it?
Yeah, he built it.
He built it. Yeah, you worked on that.
No, I didn't. I didn't work on that. No.
The red house.
No, my brother did, but I didn't. I didn't work for him there for Upsalt. He was a contractor too. I didn't work for him. My brother did.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, and Axel Scolan, he was the foreman. They put it up. So they would be driving back and forth to West Orange every day. It was a long trip.
From Sussex every day?
Yeah, every day. That's it's 43 miles. 43 miles. But those days,
yeah, it probably took 2 hours.
The roads were not like today, so they took them at least an hour and a half to 2 hours. You know, and the cars were not as good as today either. You know.
So he should have just pitched a tent there in the summer.
Well, they didn't do that. They came back every night. Well, anyway. So then, when the house was completed, then they stayed up there longer, and they stayed up weekends and sometime in between. During the week, they went up there, because he was his own boss. He was a contractor, so he could do that, you know. But they had a lot of company up there. Their family was big, and they all liked the place up there. And the rates were pretty good too. The rates. So they built a house. I think there was 3 bedrooms in it, maybe 4. There was one on the first floor.
But the farmhouse was already there, where the Heads used to live?
Yeah, the farmhouse was already there. Because we couldn't do that. Was the farmers. He took care of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And he had the farm was 108 acres, but there was a lot of woodland. But he was still able to have over 40 head of cattle.
So did Grandpa, he built this red house,
yeah,
brick red,
yeah,
and then he just didn't rent that out. He used it for weekends?
right. No, he didn't rent
Like
it
a
out.
weekend cabin?
Yeah, until, as you say, about 52. Then he sold the house in West Orange,
Yeah.
and then he moved up there. Because Grandma Upson, my mother-in-law, I don't think she was too excited about moving up there, because it was away from everything. You'd be all alone there, you know, and no family and no friends. So she wasn't too excited about going up there.
Now she only lived there for 3 years or so until then. She died in 55 or 56. Mom would.
She died in 56, so she was only on there for about 4 years, if I recall it right.
So then where'd you work after,
After,
in the 50s or after the war? Well, tell me about the war. You decided to enlist.
well, I decided to let. I would have been drafted anyway, so I beat him to it, you know, by enlisting in the Coast Guard. Because I'll probably, after you get to this too far, then you have no choice. They put you in the Army or Navy or Marine Corps. But so I enlisted in the Coast Guard. That was in 41, and I was in for about 38 months. But I was lucky. I was stationed out in Long Island.
Fort Tilden?
Fort Tilden. What we had a lot of, those days there was a lot of submarines along the coastline, from Norfolk to, all along the coast, all the way up to Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, you know, a lot of. So we had a lot of those big sailing vessels that belonged to very well-to-do people, and the government took them over from them, and they had the equipment on there that they could detect submarines and report them, to the shore, and they pretended it was sailing all the time, so no submarine would bother them, even if they saw them. So we used to have, we probably had about 50 of those. 50, and they would go out and they stay out for 2 or 3 weeks at the time. And our base, we did all the repair work on them and prepared them to go out. When you go out for 3 weeks, you got to have you prepare for a lot of things,
Did you ever go out with them?
No, I never did. I never had the opportunity. I wanted to, really wanted to, but I was in the shop. I was one of the workers in the shop, So I was there for 38 months.
They let you get off once a month?
Oh, we had a lot of time off. I'll say that they were very generous with that.
You were married at the time.
We were married in 1940.
Yeah, but you joined the Coast Guard about 42? 1942 after Pearl Harbor?
I think it was in the fall of 41.
Before Pearl Harbor?
No, wait a minute. It was after Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
It was after Pearl Harbor. Okay. Pearl Harbor was when? December 7, 1941. 41. Okay. About less than a year later, I was in the service. I think the following September.
So you got out about, let's see, September 42?
Yeah.
So September 45, probably about November 45 you got out?
Yeah, that's pretty near.
After D-Day?
Yeah, the D-Day.
So then what'd you do?
Well,
go back to carpentry?
Then I went, of course, when we went to Coast Guard, we didn't make, we got $21, what he said.
$21 a day once a month?
Once a month.
I remember you saying that.
So in the meantime, Mom was working for the Board of Education in West Orange, and she had a good job there. Of course, she didn't pay an awful lot, but it was a good job, and I was able to get home maybe once a week, and I would take the bus and subway and the ferry going across the Hudson River, and the train from Hoboken to Orange, and then she would meet me there in Orange, and let me see now. I think we prior to this we had an apartment in Valley Road in West Orange, but when I got into the service, she gave that up and she moved home, and I think we put our furniture in storage. So this went on for 38 months. I was discharged, and then right before I was discharged, she was able to rent an apartment from some friends of ours, the Freuslands, on Llewellyn Avenue in West Orange.
They still live there, don't they?
No,
oh.
Not anymore. I think that house has been sold. But anyway, you were born when we lived in that house. And March 22nd, 46.
So I was born about 5 months after you got out of the Coast Guard.
Yeah, that's possible. That probably, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's about right.
I was born